Was it your idea to do the broadcast with Mike Gorman on Monday?
Yes, it was.
Looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm practicing. I'm prepping. I'll probably go home tonight and get my notes together.
Bad timing. Bad timing.
You gonna be tough on guys?
I'm gonna be just like Tommy.
Do you see the commentary opportunity as a chance for you to kind of show yourself more to the public, but on your terms?
No, just thought it'd be something to do, fun to do. I've been knowing Mike and Tommy for every year, ever since I've been here, and those guys have always been generous to me. And get a chance to do something different, have a little fun with Mike. I know Tommy won't be there, so.
Part 2 of the Garden Report. Talking about Rondo. Talking about Rondo. Talking about Rondo.
Practice? What? I don't know.
Talking about Rondo?
So we're talking about Rondo talking.
We're talking about Rondo, the speaker.
Yes.
The commentator, the announcer.
So
we don't know anything about.
He's going to be on Comcast.
He's going to be a co-worker of mine for a quarter, so I guess we have to cut him a check. So.
You might get a raise for that. He deserves one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
How much is Rondo going to get paid for? That's the question.
So yeah, Rondo is going to be joining Mike in the booth. Is it?
Or at the table?
It's Monday.
It's at Chicago, right?
Yeah, it's Monday.
Yeah.
In Chicago. So we won't be able to see it live, I guess, here. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. He's not a guy that's very, I don't know.
Garrulous.
Yeah. What's the word?
Eloquent. I don't. I mean, like,
outward. I mean,
I think he'd be eloquent, but he's not. He's certainly not extroverted.
He has really interesting thoughts, but like expressing them in like.
I think we're gonna learn.
Flowing sentences is like not his thing, really. I don't know.
I think he's gonna be a little shy. I think he's gonna be a little quiet. But when he does feel the need to speak or talk about something, I think it's gonna be very interesting to see what he sees. You know, we always talk about his IQ and how smart he is out there. He sees the game differently than everybody else. Well, I mean, we're gonna kind of get a picture of assistant coach Rondo. I think he's not going to give out anything crazy. He's not going to be telling us the plays, but he's going to see something offensively that maybe the Celtics didn't do or they missed, or he's going to tell us what the Bulls are doing, and they're a great defensive team. So it's going to be great to watch him sort of break down the Bulls from the sideline. I'm interested. I'll definitely be watching. Not that I never am watching. Not that I'm never not watching. I'm always watching. But I'll be
watching with great
intently
intrigue.
Watching, yes.
Oh, what's exciting about this game is that the Bulls have been one of the best defensive franchises in recent memory, and to have him comment and talking about how they attack that defense, it's the perfect timing as opponent-wise.
Yeah, and he'll be breaking down Tom Thibodeau's defense, who's a former assistant coach of Rondo's on the Celtics, which makes it even more intriguing.
Right.
Again, he's not going to reveal any trade secrets of Thibodeau's either, but it's going to be interesting nonetheless.
Maybe he will. Sure, why not?
I mean, yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I think also it'll give fans a chance to sort of hear him outside of the monotone, answering reporters' questions. He doesn't really like
a chance for
any of that. He hates speaking after the game. That's why it probably takes him an hour and a half to do so. But he does like Mike and Tommy. He respects those guys, and I'm sure that they're going to have a good report together. It's going to be fun. It'll make a game that the Celtics will probably lose. It'll make it more enjoyable. So you can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah, we asked him if he's doing this to show like a different side to him, and he didn't really go for that. Not surprisingly,
I wouldn't admit to it
because even if it was true, he wouldn't admit it. Of course,
I agree.
Rondo cannot be vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's going to admit that, but I think that's definitely going to happen, whether or not he intends it to or not. Anytime you get a player for 20, 25 minutes straight, not a script, not answering a question, but sort of just saying what's coming to him, what's on his mind. It's great to see, and the Celtics have been cool about that. I mean, not Celtics, CSM's been cool about that all season. They've had these sort of guest color guys in, whether it's Jackie Mack, whether it was Bill Simmons. I know that they're also going to have Danny Ainge, and they're going to have Chris Herron as well to wrap up the season, so it'll be cool.
Okay, so boxing time. Evan, stat of the night.
Stat of the night, 6. There were 6 Toronto Raptors players who scored points in this game. Only 6. It was the 5 starters and Chris Vasquez, and that was all they needed. The Raptors are not a deep team to begin with. I mean, they play like 8 guys, and one of them is Chuck Hayes, who can't really score.
And not Dwight Bikes.
Yeah,
Charles Hayes.
Yeah, Charles Hayes. On the box score, he's listed as Charles Hayes, but whatever. The Raptors found scoring from 6 guys, and that was enough, and that was a rare thing.
All right, over my stat. Kind of goes into what he said a little bit. Bench points. Celtics 51, Raptors 7.
7.
One player on the
Vasquez
Raptors.
had 7, and that was
Vasquez had 7. And Celtics, they got a lot of points on the bench, obviously from Sellinger. They got another 13 from Chris Johnson, too. I want to actually say I thought he played a really good game today. Filled in admirably for Jeff Green. I said this like 2 months ago. I would be completely fine with him starting over Green half the time.
Whoa!
Yeah, even though
bold
Green's played a lot better than he was to start the season, but there are still some of those games where you just kind of like are like Jeff Green, hello, like wake up. And I just feel like Chris Johnson every time he's
tonight when he scored 6 points.
Yeah, supposedly he had a stiff neck, so I guess that explains it. But Chris Johnson, every time he's out there, he's always active. He's always doing something right, and he's a good 3-point shooter as well. And I every time he shoots the ball, I'm fine with it.
I mean, he could fill like a Cephalosha type role, I guess, where he's just kind of a G guy that runs around, hits a couple threes. Jeff Green, coming off the bench, has failed miserably for the most part. And the only way to get him scoring at all is to give him time to develop a rhythm.
Yeah. And
this year it's been pretty up and down on whether or not he develops a rhythm. So that probably wouldn't work, but it would definitely be an interesting idea.
It's just more so the fact that Chris Johnson might be good enough to start on this team. And unfortunately, because Jeff Green can't come off the bench, it's not going to happen. And because he's getting paid $9 million a year, and they won't want to come off the bench.
That's it.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot of money coming.
But the point is, they're going to have Chris. I'm sure that they're going to pick up Chris Johnson's contract next season because he's more than earned that. The guy has been far exceeded my expectations.
All of the small forwards on this roster are under contract for next season, with Green, Gerald Wallace, Johnson, and Chris Babb. They're all on multi-year deals coming back next year. So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to keep all 4 of those guys, whether they really need to. Maybe Babb's the most expendable one of the 4.
Well, Babb's unguaranteed. Non-guaranteed deal. So, yeah.
As is Johnson. And plus,
who knows
if they get a top 2 draft pick or top 3 draft pick, there could be another small forward.
Yeah.
Or there will be another small forward added.
Yeah, it might only be Wallace and Johnson next year. I think that would be.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Another transition year, shall we say. So, okay, we'll make it really quick. Stat of the night, Rondo averaging 14.5 assists per game over his last 4 games. So, the assists are back.
Yeah.
They're back.
But
he didn't leave for that long.
He had 10 with 8 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, he didn't really have a ton for the rest of the game. He only scored 9 points. That's because Jared Solinger, my baller for tonight, he was doing all the work. So 24 points, the 4 for 6 shooting, blah, blah, blah. Jimmy?
Terrence Ross, he had a couple of crazy shots. 2 in the first half, 1 to end the third quarter, and then 1 in the end of the fourth quarter. 3-pointers. He went 5 for 9 from 3. Woo, that was loud. Wrap it up, I guess. But everyone thinks he's a dunker, but he's a good shooter. He's a great shooter. He's at 42% from the field, 40 from 3. But tonight it was way better than that. 9 of 16 from the field. Can't go wrong with that.
I'll be boring. I'll say Rondo. I mean, the guy took a shot to the face, got 9 stitches, came back and finished the game.
He's a hockey player.
That takes some heart. That takes some guts. That takes whatever the cliche you want to use is. That's pretty impressive. So, Rondo, player of the game.
All right, so, and then because they deserved mentioning, they're really the 2 best players tonight was the backcourt for the Raptors. I mean, DeRozan and Lowry combined for 43 points. Lowry has that incredible turnaround 3 with the guy in his face that basically won them the game.
Lowry shot at the end there. So
and Lowry had 9 rebounds. He's the point guard. And DeRozan had 7.
And he does that.
They had 16 rebounds from their backcourt. And, I mean, their 3 wing guys, they combined for 67 points tonight. And they basically won the game, just those 3 guys.
The way Lowry's played this season, I mean,
incredible.
I think the Raptors had intended on trading him, but he played so well, and he kept them in the playoff hunt the entire season. Where if they did, I mean, there would have been such backlash over what's going on here? Right. They had no choice; they had to keep him. And who knows if maybe they can re-sign him? I mean, he's definitely earned a big deal. So we'll see it'll be interesting to see what he gets.
He's a star there. That's a big thing because he hasn't really been wanted pretty much everywhere he's gone. I mean, he wasn't even earlier this year, but things change very fast when you're playing like an MVP.
Well, yeah, in December they were talking about tanking with that Toronto team, and thanks to Kyle Lowry, they went the opposite direction.
Right.
That's a huge turnaround. They're
conference.
3rd in the East right now.
Or 10th in the West.
Playoff basketball in Toronto.
Okay, that's it. That is it.
Home court for the second round? No, home court for the first round in Toronto.
1 round at a time. We'll see if the Raptors get out of the first round.
Okay, is that it now? Can we end the show?
I think we're good, yeah.
We're done. Over. Another game. Forget about it. But enjoy the show.
Don't forget us.
Tweet us. You can like the Garden Report on Facebook, so find us on Facebook and like us, and all that stuff. So for Evans, for Jimmy, I'm Jared Weiss. We'll see you next time. Garden Report, Celtics Blog, CLNS Radio. We don't have papers, so we'll throw our
imaginary.
I'll throw my jacket somewhere.
No, please leave your jacket on.
I mean, I think it obviously says a lot. He wants to play, and not only... I think the most important part about it, Scott, is he came back in and guarded DeRozan. Like, he went after it, and I thought he did a pretty good job on him. And I'm going through my mind, all the plays that we had that we could have taken advantage of that game. And he was in the center of a lot of them that made nice passes on the break. And and made nice a hook pass to Chris for the 3. You know, he played a great fourth quarter. I thought when he walked off, I thought maybe he broke his nose. I didn't know exactly where it was, but I guess he got stitches probably right in here.